Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Kesani. I'm a professor at Brookdale Community College, and I'm co-PI for the EPNC, that's the Educational Pathways National Center, that's hosted at Moraine Valley Community College. And I'm here with Kyle Jones from Sinclair Community College. Kyle, you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Mike. My name is Kyle Jones. I am the chair and professor at Sinclair in Dayton, Ohio. I am over the computer science and information technology department. I've been at Sinclair for 9 years, starting this year. And before then, I used to work in a large cybersecurity operations center, working with financial markets.
Mhm. And tell us a little bit about the programs that you're above. You have a very large, diverse department that you manage, right?
Yeah, so everything from computer science. We have the first associates of science in computer science at a community college in the state of Ohio. So we do computer science, web development, software development. We have a large data analytics program, as well as cybersecurity, Cisco, network engineering, server, and cloud development.
Mhm. Okay. All right. And so Kyle was part of a project that we worked on called the incubator. So the goal of the incubator so was to bring faculty together from different institutions and have them develop content for some projects that we're working on. So the focus areas where there was one that was focusing on building Cisco packet tracer activities. There was another group that was working on Arduino projects, so the little microcomputer Arduino. There was another group that was working on crypt tools, so cryptography projects. And then Kyle was working on a team that was working on building activities for a virtual reality environment that we have for career exploration for high school kids. And so Kyle was part of the team working on that. It was a very quick workshop, about 2.5 days, but bring everybody together. And Kyle was working with a team of, I think you had another faculty member, and then you also had a student that was working on your group. So just give me your sort of generic thoughts about the workshop, what you thought of the workshop.
Yeah, it was a great workshop. It was great to see a student's point of view, discussing what new ideas that we could add into the virtual environment. Also working with another faculty member to get ideas about how a student would progress or the knowledge that they would learn from the virtual environment. But really from a student's point of view, about their creative ideas, about how a student would progress through, how it could be a little bit more interactive, and even specifically get into job roles and certifications with the job roles regarding, let's say, like a water treatment facility, like more specific into specific job roles and duties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that was because the host institution, Moraine Valley, had some students attend. That worked out well because we had the students. And I don't think that was the original plan, but that worked out well. And I think if we do this in the future, I think having that student perspective is critical, because I think, we come at the activities, in our little working group. You're the baby of the working group, but the rest of us are old men. And so when we come at a project, it's coming at it from an old man's point of view. You bring a little younger point of view than the rest of us, but getting that student in there is valuable as well.
It was, because it sounded like the student was really into VR gaming to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
He had some ideas of progressing to like if there was an incident, maybe an alarm would go off in the room, or it would progress almost like you're playing a video game, but you're still learning and you're still progressing through something. So he had a lot of ideas about changing the scene to make it feel different, like maybe like there's a little bit more of an emergency situation. Mm-hmm. Is there a way that you could feel like you're in like a security operations center when something happens?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, exactly. So tell me a little bit about the activity that the three of you worked on.
Sure. So we started off with coming up with the idea of, if we were standing in the security operations center inside the VR environment, let's say if an event happened, if it was like at a wastewater treatment facility, let's think of like an event or something would happen. So we thought about different stages that would happen, like an alert would come in and how we would progress with it. But we also started considering, well, what are the job roles and duties if someone worked in an environment like that? So what would how would you perceive it? What are the roles? And I mean, even down into like the legal job roles of cybersecurity.
Mhm.
So we're starting to think, okay, this is a lot broader than just having like a wastewater treatment facility. So we started actually building concepts around making sure that if an event or alert came into an operations center, how was that handled?
Mhm.
What does that look like?
Okay, good, good. Yeah, and I really like the project you guys came up with. And so we just need to get some artifacts for it and add a little bit more detail to it.
Yeah, we did find some videos of like a wastewater treatment facility and
Mhm.
then showing all of the different concepts to it. And then we know due to the water treatment facility hack that happened a few years ago, we actually found several really nice news articles
Mhm.
and we were going to embed those on the machines in the room so the student would have a little bit more of a better idea about what would happen if there was an attack against either a water treatment facility or like infrastructure. And I
Mhm.
think infrastructure was where we were kind of leading towards the end of thinking, hey, well, this could happen in power, gas, electric
Mhm.
infrastructure for the United
Mhm.
States.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was the Oldsmar attack. Yep. Yep. All right. So again, that was the first incubators. So if given the opportunity, would you participate in future incubators like that?
Oh yes, yeah, and like you'd mentioned before, having the student's perspective in there, and then the other faculty member was from a university that did research. So I
Mhm.
think we all had different ideas and points of view when we were coming up with what things would look like, and I felt like we were able to kind of touch on a nice flow of things from each of our points of view. The
Mhm.
student was able to talk about, hey, I don't know much about these things, or this is how like a video game I would play today progresses. So can
Mhm.
we make it look like that? And then we're able to put like higher levels of learning by involving like certifications or job roles and duties and thinking about how you could learn by progressing through the VR simulator like that.
Yeah, and some of the university faculty also, when I talked to them, they were sharing that it was unlike any conference they attended because typically in a conference you're sitting there passively receiving information at the conference. Somebody's presenting to you, and this they liked because it flipped it around and you're a participant and you're working and developing something and you have a deliverable for this. So it was really unlike any conference they'd ever attended.
Right, right, and I really like where we were kind of building things off from because each of the different working groups working on different projects, we started kind of finding ways that we could integrate each of those other elements of the other people working on different incubators into what we were doing with the VR system.
Yep. Yep. All right. So lastly, those were the questions I had for you. But is there anything that I didn't ask? Anything that you wanted to share about the incubator, the experience that I didn't ask?
Yeah, I really enjoyed going to and having this at a community college or at a university to be able to use the resources and being able to sit there and look at the facilities and look at the other things that other community colleges have and talk to the other faculty. I think building that relationship with other faculty and working on a project instead of sitting at a conference, kind of like what we were talking before, it kind of helped me grow as an instructor
Mm-hmm.
because I can think about the student's point of view and also think about how we are relaying that information into our classrooms
Mm-hmm.
instead of just me blindly building a homework assignment, thinking that I think that students are going to benefit from it, but
Mm-hmm.
have instant feedback to build an assignment with other faculty members and students.
Okay, great, great. Well, thank you very much, Kyle. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks, Mike.
All right, good to see you.